Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Book Report presented by The Millions. My name is Mike.
My name is Janet.
And today we are going to be talking about some likable villains in books that we like.
This is like people that we went against the author's wishes and liked.
That's right. And we regret nothing, frankly.
No, you can't tell me who to love.
This is a book that some of you might have heard of. It's kind of obscure. Ever since I read Beowulf when I was in middle school, I've always liked Grendel and Grendel's mom. And I always really thought Beowulf was kind of a jerk for killing him. I'll say it. Yes, they're monsters, but there's something about them that I don't know why I feel sympathetic towards. So wait, this guy Beowulf kills this monster's son, and then she gets mad and she's the bad guy. In the poem, the death scenes are so sad, and I always just felt more sympathy for the monster than the hero.
I'm going with Nicholas and Alexandra. It is a nonfiction account of the life of Russia's last Tsar, who was then murdered with his family. I read it in high school in a Russian history independent study. I just started reading Russian literature and taking Russian history classes and completely fell in love with it. I mean, I went on to be a Russian major in college because I just love like Imperial Russia. And so I was rooting against the revolution. I was so in love with Imperial Russia, and I was a 17-year-old girl, so I have no political acumen. There's sort of a 20th century perspective where you're like, this isn't going to work out that great for you.
True.
It's not like you're going to overthrow the Tsar and then live in a democracy.
No.
Things are just going to continue to suck forever. So, just keep the Tsar. At least this way you have, a royal family and they're beautiful. How bad was the Tsarist regime, really? And I remember my history teacher just kind of being like...
This is more of a likable internet troll I have for this pick. It's a book, really great book by Travis Nichols called The More You Ignore Me. The narrator is an internet commenter, a troll basically. It starts with, thinking, obviously, the reader thinking this guy's insane. And, as it goes on, you actually start to feel for this guy. Even though he's one of the people I think that, we can all agree are the worst people in the world. I think he really made this character really interesting, and you could actually kind of see the humanity beneath the harassment and frankly kind of stalking.
My second likable villain is from The Marriage Plot by Jeffrey Eugenides. Have you read this book?
I did. I loved it.
The Marriage Plot is the story of this girl named Madeline who at college meets two guys, Leonard Bankhead and I just looked this up. Mitchell Grammaticus. The love triangle and the characters are based on the love triangle between Mary Carr, David Foster Wallace, and Jeffrey Eugenides. The canonization of David Foster Wallace was in high gear. I felt like this book was Jeffrey Eugenides scolding me for liking David Foster Wallace. No one's saying that David Foster Wallace was a good boyfriend in his 20s. Number one, Madeline gets to pick, P.S.
Right.
And number two, grow up.
Stay with me here, everybody. This is going to sound bad. The book is one of my favorite nonfiction books. It's Nixonland by Rick Perlstein. I'm going to try to suggest that Richard Nixon was, in some ways, kind of a likable villain. There are parts where you realize that, as flawed as he was, at a very basic level, he did love his family, he loved his wife and kids a lot. And I think he struggled a lot with what it seems to me to be depression or maybe bipolar disorder or something like that. He could have done so much good, because he was such a smart guy, very intelligent guy. And it's just tragic seeing it all go to waste,
Another likable villain is Frankenstein's monster from the book Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I think you're just used to the cultural image of Frankenstein as, Frankenstein's monster, as you know, a big, scary, ugly thing that's going to eat you or something.
Kind of like Nixon. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you read the book and realize that it's actually like a very sympathetic portrait of the monster, because, I mean, the monster didn't ask to be made in a laboratory. He created this being who had feelings and desires, and then, like, Dr. Frankenstein just disowned him. And so, I mean, it's sort of like the Andromedus Rex in Jurassic World. Like, they create it not knowing, like, what it's going to need or want. Please join us again next week when we will be reading and watching Dune by Frank Herbert and David Lynch in a Book Report Goes to the Movies episode. So that'll be next week. It's going to be so great. We'll see you then. I'll never walk alone, Mike.
Never walk alone, Janet.